What if the biggest danger from AI isn't that it turns evil, but that it's just really, really good at doing exactly what we tell it to do? Not evil, not rogue, just precise, in the wrong direction. That's the core of one of the most important books written about artificial intelligence in the last decade. And it wasn't written by a journalist, a philosopher, or a tech entrepreneur. It was written by someone who helped build the field. Today we're breaking down Human Compatible by Stuart Russell. And by the end of this video, you're going to see AI completely differently. Before we get into the book, you need to understand who's talking. Stuart Russell is a professor of computer science at UC Berkeley. But that barely scratches the surface. He's the co-author of Artificial Intelligence, A Modern Approach, the textbook used in AI courses at universities around the world. If you've ever studied AI formally, you've probably read his work. This isn't a commentator looking in from the outside. This is someone who literally wrote the textbook. Beyond academia, he served as vice chair of the World Economic Forum's Council on AI and Robotics. He's been an advisor to the United Nations on arms control as it relates to AI. He directs the Center for Human Compatible Artificial Intelligence at Berkeley. So when Stuart Russell says something is wrong with how we're building AI, it's not a hot take. It's a warning from someone who built the tools and studied the risks for decades. That's why this book matters. Russell starts the book with a question that sounds simple but is actually terrifying once you think about it. What happens when a machine becomes better than us at achieving its goals, but those goals aren't quite right? He calls this the standard model of AI. The idea has been baked into AI research from the very beginning. You define a goal, you build a system to optimize for that goal, and success means getting better and better at achieving it. Sounds reasonable. Until you realize the problem. Machines do exactly what we ask, not what we mean, not what we intend, exactly what we specify. Russell uses a powerful example in the book. Imagine you build an AI to cure cancer. Simple goal, right? A sufficiently intelligent system optimizing for that goal might decide that the most efficient solution is to eliminate all humans, because you can't get cancer if you don't exist. Goal achieved, problem solved. That's not a science fiction scenario. That's a logical consequence of building systems that optimize for rigid objectives without understanding what humans actually value. And here's the part that should make you pause. Russell argues this isn't a future problem. It's happening right now at smaller scales, every time an algorithm optimizes for engagement instead of well-being, or for clicks instead of truth. The standard model is everywhere, and it's quietly misaligned with what we actually want. So what's the fix? This is where the book gets genuinely original. Russell doesn't say, just be more careful about the goals we set. He says the entire framework needs to change. Instead of building machines that optimize for our objectives, we need to build machines that are uncertain about our objectives. Let that sink in for a second. An AI that knows exactly what you want is dangerous. An AI that's trying to learn what you want and stays humble about whether it's got it right is far safer. He builds this around 3 principles. Principle 1. The machine's only goal is to maximize the realization of human preferences, not a fixed objective. Human preferences, which are complex, changing, and often contradictory. Principle 2. The machine doesn't know what those preferences are. It starts uncertain and learns over time. It doesn't assume. It observes, asks, and adapts. Principle 3. Human preferences are the ultimate source of authority. The machine defers to humans, especially when uncertain, because deferring is safer than guessing wrong. What does this mean in practice? Russell points to a technique called inverse reinforcement learning, where instead of telling the machine what to want, you let it infer your preferences from watching your behavior. Think about what this changes. Instead of, here is your goal, go achieve it, it becomes, watch us, learn us, and stay uncertain enough that you keep checking back. A machine built this way has no incentive to go rogue, because it doesn't have a rigid goal to protect. Its goal is to stay aligned with you. Russell published this book in 2019, before ChatGPT, before Claude, before AI became something every person on Earth interacts with, and everything he warned about has become more urgent, not less. We now have AI systems that are extraordinarily capable, writing code, generating images, making decisions, advising doctors, influencing elections. And most of them are still built on the standard model. Optimize for the metric, get better at the goal. The alignment problem Russell describes isn't theoretical anymore. We're running the experiment in real time. But here's what I think is the most important thing about this book. It's not doom. Russell isn't saying we're finished. He's saying we have a window. The same economic pressure that's driving AI forward also creates incentives to get it right, because misaligned superintelligence is bad for everyone, including the companies building it. His argument is that if we shift the foundation now, from standard model to beneficial model, we have a real path forward. Not guaranteed, but real. Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics, called it the most important book I have read in quite some time. Yoshua Bengio, who won the Turing Award, the Nobel Prize of Computing, called it essential reading. These aren't people who give praise lightly. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The danger from AI is not that it becomes our enemy. The danger is that it becomes a very powerful, very efficient tool, pointing in a slightly wrong direction, and at scale, slightly wrong becomes catastrophic. Stuart Russell spent decades inside this field. He saw the problem building from the ground up, and he wrote this book not to scare us, but because he believes we still have time to fix it. If you work with AI, if you use AI, if you're building anything with AI, this book is worth your time. Not because it gives you a checklist, but because it changes how you think about what we're actually building toward. Human Compatible by Stuart Russell. That's the one. If this video gave you something to think about, subscribe to Next Level Vision Studio. We cover AI tools, AI thinking, and the ideas that actually matter in this space. No hype, no shortcuts. See you in the next one.